another installment of Heritage Sports Podcast. Thank y'all. We are going to get right to it. Which head coach will have the most success with their new team for the 2022-2023 college football season? It's Hugh Freeze out of Auburn, Deion Sanders out of Colorado, Jeff Brohm out of Louisville, Matt Rhule out of Nebraska, or Luke Fickell out of Wisconsin, or other. I personally think it's going to be somebody else. It's going to be other. I'm going to tell you who that is after I go through the next choices. So we'll just go 1 through 6. And I think Hugh Freeze out of Auburn is in a good position. They're in the SEC. They went 5-7 this past year. They had a competitive team, a decent team. The prior coach was there only for 2 years, so his kind of culture was kind of getting in, but he just ended up being a bad person, so that's why he got axed. Sorry. But the framework is there. Auburn's always a sleeping giant. They always have a good team every once in like 5 years, and who's to say that that can't be move towards next year. So 5-7 is not a terrible team. They're competitive, and it's the SEC. So they win a few games. He'll see some success. Now, we talked about Deion quite a bit. Colorado has a lot of room to get better. So by default, Deion might be in a good position to say, shoot, I got the most success because we won one game last year. They're 1-11. The team was not good. It's been decimated. Won by just is what it is. And then Deion came and told them it is what it is. And they transferred. So it's going to be a completely new, almost completely whole makeover from last year. If they can become 5-7 or even better, 9-3, 11-2, whatever, that's going to be a lot of success. So there's a lot of room to see that. So Deion's in a good position. Jeff Brohm, he went to Louisville. He was the coach at Purdue. Louisville actually just finished playing in a bowl game. They played Cincinnati, and they went 8-5 this past year. So I don't know. Jeff Brown's a great coach. I don't know how much what success would be. Like if they went 11-2 and won the ACC, yeah, but that's not like it's not a huge jump from where the team is now. It's a good team. The coach Satterfield did a really, really good job at getting the program, and he went on to take the Cincinnati job. But Louisville is in a good position to continue to be a program on the move and trending upward. Okay, let's talk about Matt Rhule out there in Nebraska. All right, Nebraska is a mess. They've been a mess for years now. They went 4-8 last year in the basement of the Big Ten, and they just went through a lot. Scott Frost got fired, which I thought was a bit of too short-sighted by Nebraska faithful. I get it. Look, they want to win it. They want it now. He's a famous alum. Went there, played there. Really, I think he put in the work. It's just he didn't win the games. Then Mickey Joseph came and won a few games, and he didn't get the job. Matt Rhule got the job. Matt Rhule is apparently tailor-made for college programs or turning around college programs. See what he did at Baylor. So I think Matt Rhule's in a good position from 4-8. He gets that program to 8-4, wins a few more games. That'd be great. I don't know if that'll happen in the first year, but I can see it happening. Luke Fickell's a winner, man. Let me tell you, that dude's a winner. Wisconsin went 6-6. They ended up moving on from their coach, but he built Cincinnati's program into a national powerhouse when nobody's. Well, let me not say that. No, people saw it coming. You know, Cincinnati's been a program on the rise for almost like 10 years now. LSU's current head coach started it off, I think, Brian Kelly, and then it just, started to matriculate throughout the years where coaches come there, get the program just a little bit better, and then Luke just came in and kicked the door down. Last year they won the college football playoffs mostly because of the DBs, Sauce Gardner. They had some of the most skilled talent overall I've seen out of a college football team. But as I predicted, once they got to the college football playoffs, they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop more physical opponents. But if it was like a 7-on-7 kind of league or game, Cincinnati would have won that championship. But I think Luke knew he couldn't get the linemen, he couldn't get the horses to do what he needed to do, which probably made Wisconsin more attractive. Wisconsin's always had great offensive lines, great defensive lines. The home of J.J. Watt, home of his brother as well. So they can get pass rushers and they can get people that protect the passer and run the football. So now all he has to do is recruit the same kind of skilled players to Wisconsin. Now, it's cold up there, but it's even colder than Cincinnati. But if he can do what he did in Cincinnati at Wisconsin, boom, he's gonna be golden. He's gonna be great. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you my pick. Other, all right, other actually comes from the Pac-12, Arizona State. So Arizona State went, let me see, 3-9 last year. Again, that was another train wreck. Herman Edwards, basically on his lame duck year, had to fire all the coordinators, and they gave him, I don't know how many games. It was like 2 games before they said, yeah, you out of here. First of all, Arizona State has a beautiful campus. It's going to be easy to recruit there. But here's the thing that I want to make sure I emphasize. They are 3-9. They're going to be able to recruit, yes. But Kenny Dillingham is the Oregon offensive coordinator. He's going to bring a wide open kind of offense that they had in Oregon. The thing about Arizona State, they have a notorious great defense. No matter what, they have decent defenses, and sometimes they're great. That's not always the case in Oregon. If he can add in the offensive component, I think he's going to have a lot of success there. It's easy to bring people on campus and say, wow, it's hot year round. So you can get the California kids, you get the Florida kids, you get the Texas kids, and it's absolutely gorgeous there. It's in Tempe or it's in Tempe, I believe, but it's really Phoenix. It's the Phoenix metro area. You can't beat it. The number one high school recruit is actually at a high school near there. So their high schools are brimming with talent. So they can get them, or if they can convert a lot of those 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars that are in that state, I think he is going to be up and running. They need the offense there. That's what Arizona State's been missing. They need the offense there. They had a great quarterback. They ended up, now he plays for LSU. The quarterback Daniels, he was a long-time starter for Arizona State. If they had the horses, if they had a more wide open offense where they're pushing the ball, if you see how Bo Nix did this past year, they could easily see success. So I think he's going to be in a real good position to move forward. I would think Hugh Freeze might be next, like if I had to pick a number 2, but the SEC is always competitive. You can have the best team that you've had at that university, and guess what? It won't be good enough because Alabama will beat you, Ole Miss will beat you, LSU will beat you, Texas A&M beat you. You got to bring it each and every week in the SEC West specifically. And then you make it out of the SEC West, and then you got Georgia waiting for you, ready to beat you up, or a random Florida team that's ready to beat you up. It's not a given each and every year. So you really have a lot of competition in the SEC West. The same thing with the Big Ten. I love Luke Fickell. I love Matt Rhule, but it's Ohio State and Michigan. Those are the premier programs there. It's going to be hard each and every year to knock them off. It really is. It's set up that way. They call it the Big Ten, but it's really Big Blue versus Ohio State. I mean, that's what it is. That's what they should name the conference. Deion, I think the Pac-12, again, I think he has a lot of room to have the most success as well. So I can understand that argument. But I think the Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham already has the offensive capacity. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he was hired. He's going to hit the ground running on offense. And they have the facilities and the weather and the high school recruits in the area that can turn around that team. And I think if he brings that Oregon offense to Arizona State with their nasty defense, he could really turn this into a very competitive thing. Now, don't get me wrong. They got a lot of competition this next year, especially. You have USC. Like I said, if Caleb does not get injured, He plays the whole year chasing the national championship. USC is going to be hard to beat. UCLA has always been a competitive team with Chip Kelly there, but it's Utah. Utah is there. Bo Nix is coming back for his 8th year. I mean, we just talked about Auburn. I remember Bo Nix playing like 5 years ago for Auburn, and he's still playing. He's coming back for Oregon, so he's still going to be there. Washington's going to be there. You know, their quarterback up there can really throw the football. But with all of those people that I just said, all of those names that I just said, you got to think Caleb Williams only going to be there that one more year. Bo Nix, super senior, is going to be only there that one more year. So those people and the kid from Washington, I'm sure he's even though he's injured, he got injured. This may be his last year, and then he'll figure out what he wants to do. I think Arizona State's in a great position. So if you ask me, that's who the coach who's set up for the most success. Let me hear from y'all in the comments. Let me know. Until next time, Heritage Sports Podcast. Thank y'all for listening. Please subscribe.